First and foremost, all praises are due to Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawah Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone for teaching us his truth. Salutations to the brothers around the four corners of the earth who are teaching this word in truth and sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect, a few men, women, and children that believe in this word. This is your brother Karatzabad coming at you again with another lesson. This one I entitled, Yahawah planned this life for us long ago. When I say this life, the life of redemption, the life of being saved by the grace, of Yahawah Shai dying for us for our sins, the life of being born again from death, Prior to knowing we were Hebrew Israelites and believing in Yahawah Shai the Messiah, we were basically in a spirit of death, committing sins, willingly, committing adultery, smoking weed, celebrating holidays, birthdays, doing all types of manner of wickedness. But Yahawah, he planned this life for us a long time ago, before the foundation of the world. And I have some scriptures to back that up. But first, let's begin with Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 1. And it reads, "And you hath he quickened," meaning you, the hopeful elect. We say that in humility. "And you hath he quickened who were dead in trespasses and sins, where in times past he walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air." That's speaking of Satan, because he controls the airwaves. "The spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience," meaning our people who don't want to hearken to this word, who are stiff-necked, stiff-hearted. They want to continue in sin despite the word going out all over the world, and the primary lifting is being done by the internet. So this Hebrew Israelite knowledge, wisdom, understanding has been spreading all over the world from elder apostle to her on down. Let's read this again. Let's read Ephesians 2 and verse 2, the NLT. You used to live in sin just like the rest of the world, obeying the devil, the commander of the powers in the unseen world. He is the spirit at work in the hearts of those who refuse to obey Yahawah. That's speaking of 2/3 of our people that don't want to hearken to this word, that are going to be destroyed either prior to the day of the Lord or on the day of the Lord. Let's read Ephesians 2 and verse 3 to NLT. "All of us used to live that way, following the passionate desires and inclinations of our sinful nature. By our very nature, we were subject to Yahawah's anger, just like everyone else. But now we've been given what? A lifeline through the belief in the Messiah, Yahawah Shai. We believe he was here, he died, he was resurrected, he's on the right-hand side of the Father, and we believe he is indeed coming back on the day of the Lord as King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and to help in the destruction of Babylon, America, and bring the kingdom of heaven down upon the planet Earth. So this is a thing of faith. So the hopeful elect, we've come back through faith. Let's read Ephesians 2 and verse 4, the KJV. "But Yahawah, who is rich in mercy, for his great love wherewith he loved us, even when we were dead in sins, hath quickened us together with Yahawah Shai. By grace ye are saved." Let's get a definition of that word quicken. As soon as it comes up here. So let's see. It says here, let's get that real quick. This is the Greek translation of the word quicken.
Strong's G 4806. Sudzo apoyeo. Sudzo apoyeo.
Let's go a little deeper here. Let's go here. Says here, to produce alive, to cause to live, make alive, give life. We've been given life through the belief in Yahawah Shai. By spiritual power to arouse and invigorate. We've been invigorated with this gospel, this truth, to restore to life, to give increase of life, of the spirit, quickening, all right, as respects the spirit, endued with new and greater powers of life. All right, so we'll leave it at that. So we've been given life, we've been born again through the belief in Yahawah B'Shem Yahushai, through our faith in Yahawah B'Shem Yahushai. So let's go back here. Let's read this again. Ephesians 2 and verse 5. Even when we were dead in sins, he hath quickened us together with Yahushai. By grace, ye are saved. Let's get a precept. 2 Corinthians 5. 2 Corinthians 5 and verse 17. And it reads, says here, therefore, if any man be in Yahushai, believe in Yahushai, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. So in respects, our life has just begun by believing in this word, this truth, by believing in the word in the flesh. And that was Yahushai. Also, he was known as the fountain of living waters in the light in darkness. Because right now, this place is total darkness. And I'm speaking in particular of Babylon, America. This place is total darkness. But through the light, Yahushai, we've been born again. Let's read this. And all things are of Yahawah, who hath reconciled us to himself by Yahushua HaMashiach, and hath given to us the ministry of reconciliation. So we've been reconciled back to the Father through Yahawah's sacrifice, because the Lord Yahawah wanted nothing to do with us, because we kept going off constantly in the Old Testament, despite him sending prophet after prophet after prophet. So he gave us a lifeline through the belief in the Messiah. He gave us grace through the death of Yahushua, okay? Through him sacrificing himself by giving his blood up for us. So let's continue. Let's read, let's go back here to Ephesians. So Ephesians 2, let's read Ephesians 2 and verse 5 again. Even when we were dead in sins, okay, Yahawah hath quickened us together with Yahushua. By grace ye are saved, and hath raised us up together and made us sit together in heavenly places in Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay, let's read Ephesians 2 and verse 7 NLT. So Yahawah can point to us in all future ages as examples of the incredible wealth of his grace and kindness towards us, as shown in all he has done for us who are united with Yahushua HaMashiach. So hopefully we make it to the end, that we're part of the elect, and we'll be examples, those of us who are part of the elect, the remnant of the Hebrew Israelites, if we make it, we'll be examples to the rest of the world of the grace that Yahawah gave us through Yahushua. Let's read verse 8, the KJV. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of Yahawah. So faith is very big. We've been saved through faith because we have faith in Yahawah. We have faith in Yahushua. We have faith in the kingdom that's coming upon the planet Earth. And we know faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We haven't seen the kingdom. We haven't seen the big, gigantic spaceship in which Yahushua is going to beam up the elect, but we believe. Let's read this again. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of Yahawah. You can't buy faith in Walmart. Not of works, lest any man should boast. So it ain't just based on good works. You have to have faith with works. Ephesians 2 and verse 10. For we are his workmanship, created in Yahushua HaMashiach unto good works, which Yahawah hath ordained that we should walk in them. All right, let's get the definition of that word ordained real quick. This is the definition of the word ordained. This is the Greek translation of the word ordained.
Strong's G 4282. Praetoimazo. Praetoimazo.
Says here to prepare before, to make ready beforehand. Let's go a little deeper. Let's go a little deeper than this. Go back here. It says here to make ready, prepare. To prepare the minds of men to give the Messiah a fit reception and secure his blessings. So the elect have been preordained. All right. Let's read. Let's go a little deeper here. It says here. Anything else here? That's basically it on that. All right. But we've been ordained. Lord willing, we make it into the end. But like the lesson says, Yahawah planned this life for us a long time ago, before the foundation of the world. So he's making us ready, preparing us for what's coming. Let's go back here. I thought it went a little bit deeper there. Okay. Says here, for whom he appointed glory beforehand. All right. So the elect have been given glory beforehand, before the foundation of the world. So let's go back here. Let's get Ephesians 2 and verse 10, the NLT. For we are Yahawah's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Yahawah Shah HaMashiach, so we can do the good things he planned for us long ago. Let's read verse 11, okay? Ephesians 2 and verse 11, the KJV. No, I'm done with that. Let's go to, I have some precepts. Let's go to Philippians chapter 2 and verse 13. Philippians chapter 2 and verse 13, and it reads, it says here, for it is Yahawah which worketh in you both to will and to do his good pleasure. So Yahawah has given us the spirit, okay, to come back to the Lord, to come back in righteousness, to rehearse the righteous acts, to do what pleases him. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 1, if I may. Ephesians chapter 1, and let's get verse 3. And it reads, it says here, blessed be the God Yahawah and Father of our Lord Yahawah Shah HaMashiach, who hath blessed us with all spiritual blessings in heavenly places in Yahawah Shai. So this is Paul speaking. Let's continue. According as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love. So the elect, the remnant of the Hebrew Israelites, have been chosen before the foundation of the world. Everyone who's a Hebrew Israelite is not going to make it. Okay, from Elder Apostle to her on down, from Great Millstone, and those affiliated with the doctrine of Great Millstone, which is the 100% truthful doctrine of Yahawah B'Shem Yahawah Shai, we understand only a remnant's going to make it. Everyone who's a Hebrew Israelite is not going to make it on this side. Let's read this again. All right. Let's read Ephesians 1 and verse 4, the NLT. Let's get that. Even before he made the world, Yahawah loved us and chose us in Yahawah Shai to be holy and without fault in his eyes. Verse 5, the NLT. Yahawah decided in advance to adopt us into his own family by bringing us to himself through Yahawah Shah HaMashiach. So he reconciled us back to himself through the mediator, Yahawah Shai. This is what he wanted to do, and it gave him great pleasure. Let's read verse 6 to KJV. And it says, to the praise of the glory of his grace, wherein he hath made us accepted in the beloved, in whom we have redemption through his blood, the blood of Yahawah Shai, the forgiveness of sins according to the riches of his grace. And that's the good news. That's the gospel. We've been given a second chance through the lifeline, the Messiah, Yahawah. Let's read this. Ephesians 1 and verse 8, wherein he hath abounded towards us in all wisdom and prudence, having made known unto us the mystery of his will, according to his good pleasure, which he hath purposed in himself. So he's given us the mystery of his will. We understand the will of Yahawah, which is to bring Yahawah back down in rulership as King of Kings and Lord of Lords, to bring the kingdom of heaven down upon the planet Earth. And we hope, if we continue and endure to the end, those of us known as the hopeful elect, that we will be joint heirs with Yahawah, that we will be beamed up on the day of the Lord in the spaceship and be able to watch Babylon America burn via nuclear missiles from Russia and the other nations. So he made known unto us the mystery of his will. So we know the will of the Father, okay, is to rid us of this wickedness in this world, to put Esau, okay, back where he belongs as a base man, all right, to put Yahawah in rulership as King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and the Hebrew Israelites over every other nation. Let's read this again. Ephesians 1. Let's read Ephesians 1 and verse 9, the NLT. Yahawah has now revealed to us his mystery plan regarding Yahawah, a plan to fulfill his own good pleasure. So everything has been written. So we're all just fulfilling a script that he has already written out for us. Let's read verse 10, the NLT. Ephesians 1 and verse 10, the NLT. And this is the plan. At the right time, he will bring everything together under the authority of Yahawah, everything in heaven and on earth. That's beautiful to understand what the will of the Father is. So we have to just what? Endure unto the end. Let's read verse 11, the KJV. In whom also we have obtained an inheritance, okay, being predestinated according to the purpose of him who worketh all things after the counsel of his own will. So the elect have been predestinated. Yahawah planned this life for us long ago. Lord willing, we endure to the end. Let's get a definition of that word, predestinated. Okay, this is the Greek translation of the word predestinated.
Strong's G 4309. Praarizo. Praarizo.
It says here to predetermine, decide beforehand. So the Lord Yahawah knows who the elect are before the foundation of the world. They were already picked. It says here to foreordain, appoint beforehand, determine before. All right. Let's see if anything else is on this, any more meat on the bone here. It says here to determine, appoint that which has been determined to appointment, to ordain, determine. So the Lord Yahawah has already determined and ordained who the elect are, who are going to be saved out of the destruction of Babylon America. So let's go back here. Let's go to Romans chapter 8 and verse 28. Romans chapter 8 and verse 28, and it reads, says here, Romans 8 and 28, it says, another precept, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love Yahawah, to them who are the called according to his purpose. Let's read Romans 8 and Romans chapter 8, verse 29, the NLT. For Yahawah knew his people in advance, and he chose them to become like his son, who is Yahawah, so that his son would be the firstborn among many brothers and sisters. Let's continue. And having chosen them, he called them to come to him. And having called them, he gave them right standing with himself. And having given them right standing, he gave them his glory. And that glory was through the belief in the light, the word in the flesh, Yahawah. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 1. We'll be finishing up shortly. 1 Peter 1, and let's read verse 2. Let's get the NLT. We're going to read 1 Peter chapter 1, all right, verse 2 in the NLT on down to 5. And it says here, Yahawah the Father knew you and chose you long ago, and his Spirit has made you holy. As a result, you have obeyed him and have been cleansed by the blood of Yahawah HaMashiach. May Yahawah give you more and more grace and peace. All praise to Yahawah, the Father of our Lord, Yahawah HaMashiach. It is by his great mercy that we have been born again, quickened, because Yahawah raised Yahawah HaMashiach from the dead. Now we live with great expectation. So through faith unto salvation, we are expecting to be delivered. And we have a priceless inheritance, an inheritance that is kept in heaven for you, pure and undefiled, beyond the reach of change and decay. And through your faith, Yahawah is protecting you by his power until you receive this salvation. Let's read that again. And through your faith, Yahawah is protecting you by his power until you receive this salvation, the new bodies, okay? Joint heirs with Yahawah in the kingdom, which is ready to be revealed on the last day for all to see, the day of the Lord. So on that note, I want to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawah, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I hope this lesson was edifying to you. Shalom.